everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Den Library. My name is Miss Evelyn, and today we're going to continue reading Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is the Great Illustrated Classics version, which was adapted by Jack Kelly, illustrated by Pablo Marcos, and published by Baronet Books. I hope you enjoy it. Chapter 4, Friends with Secrets. Mina Murray had no idea that the man she loved was being held prisoner in the castle of Count Dracula. In fact, she had just received a letter from him saying that he would be leaving Transylvania soon. She was looking forward to his getting back to England. She couldn't wait to hear his stories of the strange countries he was visiting. Meanwhile, she decided to pay a visit to her friend, Lucy Westerna. Lucy and her mother were spending the summer in Whitby, by the seashore. Mina was finished with her duties as an assistant schoolmistress. Lucy met Mina at the railroad station. They had been close ever since they were little girls, so it was easy for Mina to guess that Lucy had some good news to tell her. "We've always shared all our secrets," Lucy said. "Now I have something that I'm just dying to tell you." First, Mina had to get settled in the room she would be sharing with Lucy. "I want to take you to my favorite spot," Lucy said. They strolled onto a hill overlooking the town. They explored the ruins of an ancient church, Whitby Abbey. Below the abbey was a large graveyard. "I come here often," Lucy said. "It has such a beautiful view of the harbor. Isn't it a lovely spot?" Mina agreed that it was very pleasant. They sat on a seat among the gravestones. "But Lucy," Mina said, "don't keep me in suspense any longer." "You'll never guess," Lucy whispered. 3 marriage proposals. I'm almost 20 and I've never had any proposals. And now I have 3, all from the most wonderful men." "You are lucky," Mina said. "Who are they?" "First, there was Dr. John Seward. He runs a lunatic asylum in London, the one near Carfax Estate. He's very intelligent, very kind, and most sincere. I felt so bad refusing him. He asked me if there was another. I had to say yes." "He sounds like a fine person." "Yes, and so was number 2. His name is Quincy Morris. He's an American. He's always so good-humored and jolly. When I told him I couldn't marry him, he said he hoped always to be my faithful friend. Isn't that nice?" "Oh, very nice. But come, tell me of number 3. He's the one who's important." "When he proposed, it wasn't like the others. He was all confused, and I was confused, and in a moment his arms were around me and he was kissing me. It's Arthur Holmwood. He's so handsome and so pleasant and so everything. I love him, Mina." I said yes. "Oh, that's wonderful," Mina said. "I can't wait to meet him." "I wish you could. Unfortunately, Arthur's father is sick. He had to go home to be with him. I hope he'll be able to return soon." These words gave Mina a pang. She also hoped to see her beloved soon, but it had been weeks since she'd heard from Jonathan. She was beginning to worry. The 2 girls settled into a pleasant routine. They often climbed to the abbey and sat for hours reading and talking in the pleasant graveyard. Lucy spent time making plans for her wedding, which would take place at the end of the summer. The excitement had an effect on her. She took to her old habit of walking in her sleep. Lucy's mother and Mina agreed that it would be safest to keep the door of the girls' bedroom locked at night. But almost every night Lucy got up and tried to leave. When she found the door locked, she looked for the key. Both girls were growing nervous while they waited for the return of the men they loved. One afternoon, Lucy was more excitable than ever. Mina thought it must be because of the storm that was brewing. Waves were kicking up on the water. "All the fishing boats are racing to reach the harbor before the storm hits," Mina said. "But what about that ship?" Lucy asked. She pointed. Through the mist, Mina could make out the shape of a large and mysterious ship. She seemed to be sailing aimlessly as if no one were steering. Was she going to come into the harbor? Or would she try to ride out the storm at sea? If the weather got any worse, she would be in danger of crashing into the rocks. No one had ever seen a ship move that way. Something strange was going on. Meanwhile, Dr. John Seward, one of the men who had proposed to Lucy, was back at work again. He was studying the case of a most interesting patient. He was glad to have something to occupy his time. He had been badly disappointed when Lucy told him she loved another. But just because he was sad, he knew he couldn't neglect his duties at the insane asylum. The patient's name was Renfield. He was 59 years old, strong in body, but gloomy. Renfield was insane in a curious way. At times he seemed almost normal. He loved animals. His hobby was catching flies. When Dr. Seward asked him not to keep so many of them, Renfield took to raising spiders. He He got rid of his flies by feeding them to the spiders. "Why are you so interested in flies?" the doctor asked. "Why?" Renfield said. "Because they give me life, strong life." Dr. Seward watched while Renfield grabbed a big, horrid fly out of the air, popped it into his mouth, and ate it. Soon Renfield had fewer spiders, but Dr. Seward noticed that he was making pets of sparrows. The birds would feast on the spiders. "What I would like next," Renfield said, "is a kitten. I can play with it and feed it." The doctor told him that he couldn't allow cats in the asylum. The next day, he found that all of Renfield's sparrows were gone. There were only a few feathers left and some drops of blood on his pillow. "He's eaten the birds raw," Dr. Seward said to himself. "I will have to study Renfield's madness more carefully. This is a most interesting case." And that's where we're going to stop for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be reading more next week. Bye!